Welcome into episode 110 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I am Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Thursday afternoon.
What it is
Indeed, as we get rolling to 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time here on Thursday on what has been an interesting, long, but interesting week.
Have I ever told you that the peach nectarine rainstorm hits just like a Chilton County peach?
You have said that many, many times. I prefer to refer to the Lincoln Parish peaches, but to each his or her own.
Chilton County peach in a can. We should do that for Rain. Should do a Alabama specific, because only the people in Alabama would get it. Or they go to Georgia and say Georgia peach. It's a Chilton County peach in a can. What'd you say in Louisiana?
Lincoln Parish.
It's a Lincoln Parish.
Ruston peach.
It's a Ruston peach in a can.
We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. You can check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
And Neal, as always, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already hot today, getting hot early. So just remember, guys, during September, you can get 3.9% financing for 72 months on the new Chevy Silverado Crew Cab and no payments for 90 days.
Wow.
Check them out at cooperchevrolet.com. We
are also brought to you by our friends at Bushnell.
We are.
You tell the people about Bushnell?
I can. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
I got to change I'm not educated like you are. I have different places for them.
No, that's okay.
Bushnell is known for its quality optics for over 70 years into hunting, shooting, and tactical categories. They sell a variety of optics products ranging from riflescopes, spotting scopes, and binoculars, all the way to laser, rangefinders, and speed guns.
There you go.
And since it's the 10-year anniversary, this week, they have special binoculars that are crystal clear from 100 yards away.
How about that?
On that, just make sure everybody knows YouTube did not like us posting a link. Disrupt's working on that with YouTube.
YouTube has viewed the link as spam.
They didn't like the spammy stuff. So
in the event, YouTube, that you are listening,
we're not spamming.
It's not spam. It's Bushnell.
And it is the first 5 minutes, so you probably are listening. And so, guys, I put it on Twitter. I put it under, put the link and the ad read basically in Twitter underneath the post for the podcast.
We're going to be joined by Kane Wommack in a little bit, South Alabama coach. They got a big win last week. He joins us every Thursday. They beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater last week. They're homecoming this week, I believe, in Mobile. It's Central Michigan. Is that right?
That is correct. They play at 4:00 on Saturday on ESPN Plus. I guess ESPN apps how I always watch them anyway. Unless they're on. I enjoy watching on the app, like on the TV, if I can find the game versus on regular TV.
Oh,
because I don't like listening to the just weird commercial. I'd rather just see like I get the
I see what you mean.
The Zen during the
gotcha
during the
I do like the Zen.
I like the Zen.
Yeah.
Instead of something else. But no, they had obviously big win versus Oklahoma State. We'll talk about it here with them here shortly. But how was your day?
My day's been good. It's been a busy day. You've been proud of me this morning. I got up early, walked out the door before 6 o'clock. I've been having some knee issues, and I started to try to run, and I realized the pain was going to be intense. And I said, normally I would have pushed through it, and I went, you know what, this is stupid. And I came back upstairs, put on my bike shoes, rode the Peloton, got just as good of a workout.
Look at you.
I know, smart.
I'm impressed. Joining us now, live, I imagine he's going to be in the staff room at the University of South Alabama, the head football coach, my man, Kane Wommack. I'm working on these intros for you. I'm just going to keep coming up with some great intros for you as we keep going on.
I'm telling you, I feel like, I do. I feel like we need smoke and we need,
We do need smoke.
Ooh.
That would be awesome. Smoke, maybe some fireworks.
Yes.
Feels like
Kind
that
of
would be a little bit of a fire hazard here in the studio, but I'm sure we could do something. Maybe some sparklers.
Yeah.
We
Kind
can
of a pop out from under the desk kind of thing, like an elevated, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chair lift.
Yeah.
And
into the frame.
I've also been grooming this mustache for you all week this week because I know you.
Yeah, it looks good. It's looking good.
You like it? You should do. Hey, why don't you?
Don't encourage. I mean,
Hey, why don't you shake? Will you? How about this? Will
it's looking
you,
like a porn star.
if you win this week, if you
Allegedly.
win, excuse me, when you win this week, will you grow this for your next home game?
No chance.
No chance.
Absolutely.
He's got to recruit people.
It's a good talking point.
How do I convince a family that I'm going to take care of their kid looking like that?
'Cause you don't know if the kid's going to be like, I know you from somewhere else.
Oh God. Yeah. That's terrible.
You know, if the dad comes up to you and goes, "You look really familiar," be like, "Hey, we got to take him off the board. He's off the board.
Yeah.
He's off the board."
Might be a character risk.
All right, I know we got you for a short time before you get into your meetings this afternoon because you got like a real job.
Yeah.
I've never asked you about this, and I thought about it today, and I was like, I got to ask Kate about this. I don't think we've ever had a conversation. If we had a conversation about this, I apologize.
Okay.
But I didn't know if you have heard. But starting this past Monday, we got a Bushnell sponsorship for the show.
Whoa.
Yeah, how about that? All right.
Okay,
And
all right.
considering that,
Rangefinders.
yeah,
You know?
rangefinders, binoculars.
Binoculars.
Yep. So considering it is,
I know where we're going with this.
yeah, the
I saw the light click on.
the 10-year
No.
anniversary. It's the 10-year anniversary, like this week, of
Wow.
yeah, we're getting old, dude. Of said incident. You were actually on the Ole Miss staff when this occurred, and I was at Alabama. And I've never asked you, were you mad at me about that?
So people know what you're talking about, right? I mean,
They know.
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
If they don't know, anyone can catch them up in 13 seconds. Hit Google, you'll be good.
yeah. Now, granted, when this took place, I don't think you had like whatever it was, your Fisher Price binoculars up there, right? That you were.
Yeah, they were Bushnells.
They were.
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were
All right.
Bushnells.
No, I was not mad at you. You were doing your job. And it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I remember being in the building, you know, and people talking, and you hear things and this and that and yada, yada, right? Like, you know, I can't believe, you know, that would happen. And you go, I remember talking to some of the like GAs. I'm like, guys, like, do you think there's an inkling that he's trying to like win the game for his new boss, you know, and new, you know, job that he's trying to make sure he maximizes the opportunity? Look, it's what we do. It doesn't have anything to do with friendship. It doesn't have anything to do with, you know, loyalties outside of doing your job to help the team win as best you can. Like that's.
Well, allegedly, if I was allegedly stealing signals, if that was what I was doing, is it really called stealing signals if I'm the one who created them? Wouldn't it be like repoing the signals?
Well, here was always the thing that I always people are like, you're just defending your friend. I'm like, no, I mean, I'm not. I'm simply saying, if he's got his binoculars, let's say allegedly, let's just say for the sake of this argument that you're stealing signals.
Personnel.
You're stealing signals and you get them. You've got to relay what you get. You've got to give it to somebody who's got to give it to somebody on the field who then has to give it to the players before they run the play that they just signaled in. It's illogical.
So the truth, all kidding aside, the truth is not as sexy as the legend. I was literally doing personnel. That's all I was doing
But to finish my point,
they didn't want me to tell them to play.
But to finish my point, even if you did tell them to play and they tried to relay that down to the sideline, then relay it to the linebacker or the safety or whoever to relay it to everybody else, the odds of it getting screwed up in 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds are pretty high.
I purposely did not have a headset on that week just to prevent that from happening, from preventing any issue going on. And it's Steele's fault. If Kevin Steele hadn't said anything to Todd Blackledge on the Thursday walkthrough or whatever, Friday walkthrough, whenever they're there, he's like, oh, there's our secret weapon against Ole Miss this week. That's why they even did the shot. So I always tell Steele, I said, Steele, really, this is your fault. This is not.
Yeah,
you know.
Kivo got you there.
Yeah, he got me there. So Blackledge. And I will say this. You know what was pretty I don't think I've ever told this story.
What year is this, by the way?
This was 13 because my first year at Alabama. Yeah. His last year at Ole Miss is my first year at Alabama.
There was kind of a talent discrepancy between the two programs that day. I mean,
I would say that's a fair assessment. From a layperson's point of view.
I mean,
but right after that, it was really bad. Freeze was so mad at me.
I know he was.
He was mad at me. We had a talk. He called me. We had a conversation, and then he squashed it. We had a conversation. I'm not going to. That's a personal conversation. We had a good conversation. He's been mad at me 3 times. Really mad at me 3 times. He was highly pissed at me, as Kane knows this. Highly pissed at me when I left to go to Alabama. Highly pissed, and I was so upfront with him. I mean, he knew about everything, but highly pissed that I left. He was highly pissed about the binocular stuff. Okay, and I'm like, to the point when I got back in the locker room, because you leave your phone in there, dude. I never will forget. We had talked about it. I was gonna come over to the buses and see everybody and say hello after the game. You know, regardless, see your buddies, see all that stuff. And I remember I got in, my first message I saw on my phone was from John Miller, and he goes, "Hey, bub, probably not a good idea to come over here right now." I was like, "What the? I don't know what's happened."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I have no idea what's happened. And I was like, what in the heck? And my phone's just, it's killed. Yeah. But he's mad. Yeah. And then he was mad. We had an issue. I'm not going to discuss much on the air, but an issue in recruiting when I was at Alabama.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk about that off the air. I think Kane knows that story. All right, let's get some serious questions here. That was our fun time today. All right.
Mike Gundy was very complimentary of your program this week. Not just your team and you, but the program in general, talking about very impressed, thought you guys would win a lot of games in a Power 5 league, which I'm sure is something you agree with.
Well, it was very kind of him to say. Really, I tell you what, I really enjoyed talking to him before the game. Like I think sometimes because he is authentic, right, to himself, and maybe a little bit different than the traditional head coach archetype, right, coming up 20 years ago, whatever you want to say, that he gets this stereotype, whatever you want to say about him, but like, I'm a man, I'm 40, I'm all that stuff, right? He is a ball coach. Like he knows ball. He sees the game from 30,000 feet, big picture, understands what his team does well, what they don't, and loves the game of football. I mean, you can tell like he's a football coach, and he's very much a CEO that sees it from a head coach, from a football standpoint. And so I was impressed with him, impressed with their program, like just in general. I know that, obviously they're not, you're not supposed to lose those kinds of games at a Power 5 or against a Group of 5 program. And yet at the same time, I mean, just we were the better team, and he acknowledged that. He was complimentary of it. I think he's a smart guy. I think he'll get some things fixed in his program very quickly, but really impressed with him. And certainly he was very complimentary of us, which I appreciated.
I've never been to a game there. It's always been on my list of places I'd kind of like to go see because on TV it kind of looks cool.
I mean, beautiful.
Like you're looking down from the press box.
Yeah, beautiful, well-rounded, like it's a horseshoe, huge jumbotron, all that stuff. They said I think they've done like their suites, like everything's marble and cowhide and leather, and I mean it's like gorgeous,
Sweet.
Yeah, really pretty. And their fans showed up. I mean, when we ran out, like, you get some fan bases that they trickle in, and by the middle of the first quarter, like it's rocking and packed. I mean, they were 55,000 plus strong, all there, by the time the team ran out. So
are they still on top of you? Like on the
yeah.
Like, I mean, like they're like what, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet, maybe? You don't have much space.
So I've never seen a sideline that tight.
Yeah.
Maybe So like Northern Iowa, when you play against them, they have a super tight sideline, and actually at the back of the sideline is a um, like a dugout. It's
Yeah.
actually a dugout, like drops straight off. I mean, it's like one of those. If a player runs out of bounds, he may have to like jump down in the dugout. But outside of that, I mean, it's right on you. They've put these little awnings over the head of the players.
That's good.
Because they have those paddles that they whack on the pads, like everywhere on the sideline, because it's so tight is padded, right? And so they take those paddles and they whack them. And before the game, like I'm standing out there and there's this like one student who's out there like and whacks the paddle for the first time. And it was like a gun shot. I mean, it was like a shotgun went off. And I was like, holy cow, this thing's going to be loud, you know? And you talk to like, you know, Major Applewhite, Michael Smith, Smitty, coached at Kansas State, those guys, you know, Big 12 backgrounds, and they're telling you about it, but it was loud, man.
I do have a weird question that literally just came to my mind. You know, when you're on the road and you're doing silent count or whatever, you can still clap. That's why everybody claps, is because the clap stands out over everything. Did that interfere with that? The paddle interfere? Did that noise interfere with the snap counts?
Did not seem to. No, I didn't. Yeah, totally. Didn't notice that. Don't know if there's no way that they can ask them not to do it at certain times, right? I mean, so
Well, Mississippi State asked the people not to do the cowbells, and they don't. You know, they don't ring them at all during the play much. I mean, sometimes.
All right, I got a good question I want to ask you here. Serious ball question here, or head coach question. You've played 6 quarters, consecutive quarters. There was a button. There seemed to be a switch that flipped, you know, from the fans' perspective. I know because I talk to you all the time, but there seems to be a switch that flipped the last 6 quarters where your team has played physical, dominant football for 6 consecutive quarters. What did you sense anything or something you think switched that got it going to where you had it, where it's at right now?
Well, I mean, the disappointing thing, right, is coming with an experienced team that the first 6 quarters were not great, right? And you know, it wasn't a wholesale 6 quarters of bad football. In fact, the first 6, right. You know, Tulane in the first half against Southeastern Louisiana, there's actually a lot of winning football out there, but we made some really critical mistakes kind of throughout those 6 quarters. The nice thing is quickly you saw an experienced team get those things fixed, you know, and they got it fixed in a hurry. And so from that standpoint, we've put 6 good quarters out there. We've put 6, you know, bad quarters holistically, you know, whatever out there. And the positive is that the good 6 have come on the back end. And so we need to continue to sustain that. But I do think that we've, you know, we are starting to get into a rhythm. Every team, I realize this more. I don't know if I like fully understood this even as a young coach, right? Like teams develop true personalities, right, from year to year. Yeah. You know, and every team has to identify that personality, who they are, what can they hang their hat on, what players are they going to utilize at special situations, and then just an identity, you know what I mean, energy to your sideline and who you are and how you go about things. And that just takes a little bit of time to develop. And I feel like we're starting to develop that as a program right now.
All right, last question. I'll get you out of here because I know you got your meetings coming up in like 2 minutes. Obviously, huge win on the road. And you talk about, and you said on this show, I guess twice or the last 3 times you've been on, how important that Monday meeting is for you and how that's your Super Bowl and all that. Kind of what was your message to the team? Because you got Central Michigan coming in this Saturday at 4:00. A team that you beat last year, a team that, you know, well coached. Obviously, they're well coached too. How do you what do you say to your team to get them reset? I know you have a mature team, and that definitely helps. But what's kind of your message to your team to get them reset, and it's time to flush it, you know, and move on to the next one?
You know, I talk to them in large part like there is a history in this program of inconsistency, right? Like you were here, we've had big moments. Yeah. But we've had big moments before, right? We've had, you know, knocked off Mississippi State, Same year, San Diego State was 19th in the country, went and beat them. Year later, Troy beats LSU. A week later, we get after them. The list goes on. There's a notable wins, right?
Right.
And then these dips, in consistency. And so we've kind of built the program around that. Like, I knew when I got here that was going to be the challenge. You know what I mean? Not the big moment, but to sustain, execution over and over and over again. So some of it is just built within the program. But I did talk to them about how important it is to stack great performances on top of other great performances. And that means great reps in practice. That means great practices overall, all that. But none of that matters if it doesn't show up on game day. And so, we talk about a nameless, faceless opponent all the time. We talked about it against Oklahoma State. Same deal with Central Michigan. But I really have kind of leaned into that villainizing the opponent as there's somebody in another building on another field trying to do the same job you are every single day, and you got to do it better than they will, or they will take your job, and so that thought, I think it resonates to our team, and that's something that we really try to emphasize.
That's awesome, brother. Well, I appreciate the hell out of your time as always. Love you to death, and Jay's up, baby.
Jay's up. All right. See you guys.
Right.
Jay's up. Appreciate it.
My guy. Dude, he has, I really wish I could, he's never going to say this about himself. He's one, even though he's a young head coach, he has got a very unique way of reaching his kids in this new age of player that we got. He's got such a unique way to reach those guys, but at the same time, be able to insert the old school, mentality, work ethic, and those things, but without losing the kids, and can motivate them. He's gifted, man.
Like I said last week, he's got some interesting times ahead.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, he does.
I do. It's funny. I always I'll peruse fan boards a little bit just because I'm curious. And, schools that either the coach is on the hot seat or the coach is closing in on the hot seat, or the fans want the coach to be on the hot seat, and they put lists together of who they would want. It's
on a bunch of lists?
He's getting on some lists. It's typically the older, more established guys that they know. And I'm really curious to see, there's a couple places. I will not name names in September. You could really look like an idiot. But there are a few places that I think are approaching trouble, and I will be curious to see how their people handle searches. Curious to see how Michigan State handles their search. What do they do? What are you looking for there? Are you looking for established Power 5 coach? Are you looking for someone who's a developmental coach? Are you trying to get the young guy before somebody else grabs him, where you end up looking like a genius in 2 or 3 years, but you take the risk of getting somebody who's not been the head coach at a Power 5 school? You haven't coached your first Power 5 game until you coach your first Power 5 game, And so I'm watching a lot of those things with interest. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. With Kane,
I always think they're super interesting.
Yeah. He's going to be patient. I mean, he's not just going to jump at the first job because it's a Power 5 job. He's going to he's a thinker, thinks things through, and doesn't make emotional decisions. And, I think one thing as far as, young coaches making the jump to go to bigger jobs, I think when you're young and you have time, like, he understands. Let me tell you what helps him a lot too is his dad. Dave's been through it.
Yep.
Dave never wanted to be a head coach. Kane has always wanted to be a head coach. And so he has his dad to lean on. But one thing that, look, you get one shot. You know what I mean? At the big ones, you get one shot.
He's 36 years old.
And so if he goes and rushes into a job, he's got a great gig. Great gig. A great gig.
Well, he and Melissa are young. They've got young kids. They're in Mobile. Mobile's a nice place. They've got plenty of time. They're happy there. You can win at South Alabama. It's been done before, and he's establishing it further. Yeah, I mean, the advice, it's funny because I remember people used to say, boy, Billy Napier, he sure is rolling the dice, not taking any of these jobs. And I was like, well, he is. That's true. But on the other hand, he's being patient. And sometimes patience does not pay off.
Correct.
When you take a chance means there's a chance that it doesn't work out.
Right.
But he felt very confident. Billy did. You know this better than I do. He felt very confident that he could maintain what he was doing at Louisiana Lafayette.
And he did.
It doesn't, and people go, well, look at the new guy. I'm like, well, it's not about the new guy. It's about him. He felt like he could maintain it there long enough, or for perpetuity, to get the kind of job that would motivate him to leave. And he could have gotten really involved in Mississippi State. He could have gotten involved in South Carolina. I think he could have gotten involved in Ole Miss. I can't prove that, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, no, I do. I do. I think he could have. I know who some of the support was, and it wasn't an insult to South Carolina or Ole Miss or Mississippi State or whatever. But it was. I think he had his eye on.
He had his eye on one that he didn't get.
I think he had his eye on LSU, and in the process, Florida opened up, and he looked at it and said, "You know what? This is a quote chance worth taking," and he took it. I think he wanted the LSU job. But the point is that he waited. He was patient, and the patience paid off. Now, there are coaches who are hot, and they don't jump at an opportunity, and then things fall off, and that was the last time that opportunity rolled around. That happens too.
Yeah, well, Kane's 10 years younger than I am, right? So he's got plenty of time. But, let's say if I was a head coach right now. If I was a head coach, yeah, I'm 45. So if you're 45 years old and, okay, yeah, you can go ahead and go get a paycheck, and it's probably going to be your last one. Well, he's got 10 years to play with. So, if he was go to jump, just name the most random job that came open this last year. Let's say Purdue, okay? Let's say he was to jump and
That's a good example.
Okay, let's say he just jumped and took the Purdue job.
Right.
Okay? Well, if it doesn't work out there in 3 years at 39 years old, he's a fired, unsuccessful head coach in the FBA, in the Power 5.
He's back to being a
coordinator.
Back to be a
coordinator or going back to the Group of 5, being a head coach, whatever it is. And from a longevity standpoint, you want, especially in today's world, this NIL has changed things when it comes to young coaches now. If you're a young coach that's his age and you take a job, now they don't have to win, but you better have the NIL support and the requirement that it's going to take to go get players. Like, you can't just go take a job that's going to pay you a ton, but they don't have great NIL support. You're waiting to be fired. You're renting the whistle. You're limiting your chance for success. And I think at South, with the recruiting area he's in, the staff he's able to build, the resources that they've given him, I'm excited for him, man. I think he's truly one of the best coaches, and I'm very fortunate to know him and call him a friend. Him and Summerall, I think, do a great job too. My really good friends, they're rivals, which is kind of I'll be glad when they leave so I can say I hate them playing each other. They're two close friends of mine, but they've both done good jobs, and I think they're both kind of on the same deal. All right, Neal, before we get to our favorite part of the week, did you see I just thought this was hilarious. The Ohio State AD goes to Capitol Hill and is testifying and this is a quote, and I quote, "A practice of asking a school for a fee to simply visit campus has emerged. Asking for $5,000 just to visit has become common," end quote. I don't know if he just started recruiting. This has been going around this is a multi-decades long practice.
Well, let me say this.
However, there is inflation.
The hardcore people know this. I'm not sure that your casual fan isn't shocked by that.
That's probably what took me back, was some people were shocked. I'm like,
well, you're used to working on the fringes. You're used to working in the weeds. You're used to if you're on a message board like the one that I publish, those people are diehards.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I could get the casual fan to subscribe to rebelgrove.com, I would be doing this show from a satellite because I would be on a beach right now. Like you would hear the waves. You would hear my my waiter coming by, Mr. McCready.
Mr. McCready,
Mr. McCready,
would you like a
another
rainstorm today, sir?
Would you like another margarita? Would you like that with mezcal or añejo? Jeeves, I'll have the mezcal, thank you, sir. That's where I'd be. I mean, we don't get the casual fan, right? The casual fan doesn't understand that kids literally are asking for money to come visit. Now, kids ask for money to do an interview.
Yeah.
When I started at rebelgrove.com, kids answered the phone. They wanted to do interviews.
Love some attention.
They wanted to do interviews. Now, they don't want to talk to media unless you pay them. And there are people in my field dumb enough to pay them. And people go, I can't believe you're saying they're dumb. Okay, well, look, if all that you get out of that paid interview is, yeah, I took a visit to school X, really liked it. Coach X was really nice. Liked their facilities. Kind of felt like home. All right.
Mom and them like it.
Are you taking other visits? Yes. Where are you going? X, 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 and X. Are you close to a decision? No. Okay. If you paid $100 for that, you're a dumbass.
All right. So,
you know what I mean?
No, I 100% know what you mean.
And so, and then on the other side, I mean, look, I get it that you have to pay these kids, but here's the dirty part of this deal is that you can't use NIL money to pay the kid $5,000 to come on the visit. Allegedly, you got to go get boosters to put that money under the table to give to the kid, and that's where it's all stupid.
So, I've said this, and I've said it for 1,000 times. If they want this stuff fixed, I could have it fixed over. Just give me lunch. If you give me over lunch, I would have it all fixed. Now, I would need like somebody say, okay, Siskey's in charge. He gets to make the rules. I would have all this fixed. They keep going to Capitol Hill. Like people, I think the fans get this a little contorted, and they've made it so confusing that I see why. Okay, they think the general public thinks that all these coaches and everything are going to Capitol Hill to try to fix college football. No. They just want to play under the same rules. That's all they want from Capitol Hill. Like they just want, when we were recruiting, they want it to be on the same advantage. That's not the problem, though. The problem is in the portal. The money's always been there. It's always going to be there. It's just a matter, is it legal or not? But I found this just hilarious that has emerged. Well,
but what makes college athletics people think that Congress is going to solve their problems?
Because they don't have anybody else to turn to.
I get it. Then they're going to have to hire a commissioner.
500% agree with you.
See, that's what I mean. This is,
and I would be.
I'm losing patience with the lack of common sense on a lot of things in the world.
It's terrible right now.
It's really bad.
You want to do it? Me and you do it?
Oh, I could solve it. If you gave me some power, like for like a month, I'd solve so many problems. I would just rule with common sense. and a lot of feelings would get hurt. A lot of feelings would get hurt.
I'm good at that.
And I really wouldn't care much about the feelings. You can blame it on me. We would just take care of some things. But in this case, I'm not one to defend Congress. But Congress can't do anything. You can't get anyone in Congress because they're always getting elected. No, the only way you ever get Congress to truly be effective is term limits. That's it. And they're not going to vote for term limits because that's ending their careers. These people are career politicians. They're always running for re-election. They're always campaigning. They're always doing that. So they're not going to do anything that might be controversial and cost them votes. And I don't blame them pragmatically.
Yes.
Okay? It is what it is. So
survival.
You're asking them, they can't get on the same page about big topics like the border, Ukraine, social programs, abortion, whatever the case may be. They can't get on the same page about any of those things. You think they're going to take the time? Like one of the Congress people said, it's just not a priority. And I was like, good, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We got bigger issues in our country than college football.
We do.
Okay? I mean, I love college football. It's
great. Is great.
But that's the day that, hey, when we can sit down as a country and go, hey, here's the biggest problem we got. I'm going to tell you, we got everything else fixed, but we really got to get this college football thing fixed. That's going to be the day that walking down the street is utopia. Like, oh, hey, everybody's best friends, right? Everything's great. We just got to get college football fixed. We're nowhere close to that. So why are we asking Congress to do it? And look, Ted Cruz goes, oh, yeah, I think it's a 70% chance we're going to get this done. No, you don't. You're just placating. That's silly. You don't believe that. You don't believe that for 1 second, nor should you. If we're really spending tax dollars to pay these people to go to Capitol Hill to talk about how they can make college football a little more fair while we're trying to figure out, hey, where did the $50 billion to Ukraine go exactly? Why can't we? There's like, this is a problem, and this is like a trivial thing.
They can't. What happens?
This is like going to the steakhouse and everything's great, but like the little garnish that they put, it wasn't exactly at the right angle. And you're like, hey, this garnish is off. This is stupid.
Almost like ejecting from a $100 million plane and just letting it fly for 100.
Yeah. And then
find it.
And then people go, what happened? Well, there was some weather.
$100 million fighter jet.
So let me get this straight.
So what you're saying is this.
So what you're saying is you're flying the jet and there's some weather and you're like, hey, got to get out of the plane.
Getting a little car sick.
I'm just going to eject. What happened to the plane? I don't know. And then you find it crashed and
allegedly,
and no one asked any questions.
No questions.
No questions. Like, and the media's like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. I mean, like when you're flying Delta flight 482, to Vegas, and you hit a little turbulence in Colorado. I'm hopefully the pilot doesn't go, I'm out of here, deuces. I mean, what the hell?
And the better part is like, oh, we can't find it. So you're telling me you built $100 million aircraft, okay? $100 million aircraft,
and you didn't put the little. They
didn't put the
little ping thing on it.
Every Cessna that takes off out here from Oxford Airport's got one in there.
I can tell you where all three of my kids right now, and you can't tell me where the $100 million fighter jet is. Spare me. I mean, give me.
And people believe it.
I mean, it's just
unbelievable.
People are like, oh yeah, I mean, it rained. He ejected.
It was a little windy up there.
So when you're down when you're on the ground in your Honda Accord and you run into a little thunderstorm, do you just go, I'm out of here? I mean, what in the hell? And you want the same people that aren't going to look into that and really get to the bottom of it to quote fix college football?
Yeah.
Hire a commissioner.
That's it.
Make some rules and figure it out.
Figure it out. All right, Neal.
But it is crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy that you have to pay kids and their families to come up and to take an unofficial visit, to look at a school and to be recruited. It is insane. It is. It is an insult to intelligence, to fans, to everybody. And it is revelatory that you really aren't in this for anything but the money, and you've got people all around you that are about nothing but money. A school is recruiting you to ask, and the only people that are doing this are the power schools. South Alabama's not paying a kid to come visit. You're good enough to get invited to one of those places. Get your ass in the car and go and look and be courted and whatever, and then figure out what you want to do, and then cut your NIL deal. You're going to get paid. Cut your NIL deal and be done with it. And then 6 months later, be miserable and jump in the portal and get another one. But the whole, I got to get paid to come take a visit, man, kiss off. What a joke. I can't stand that part. And that's the part that if I were a fan, it would be a real turnoff. That part of it would turn me off. I would be like, are you serious? We had to come up with $10,000 of booster money to get a kid to come visit. And some schools will pay kids not to go visit other schools. We'll pay you to stay home. Think about that for a minute.
I've thought about it before.
The stupidity of that. I mean, that is nasty. That is total filth. And then those kids, then we in the media have to call them, quote, student athletes. Yeah, they're in it for their academics. Yeah. And I'm a hair model for GQ.
Hey, you know what my favorite one was? Is when you know why the kid didn't show up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. Another school paid him not to visit.
And then he would do an interview on why he didn't show up,
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
It's kind of like when it was the same feeling I had the other day. Like when
you see what happened was
when Lane was like, I don't know. I just got the question. That's how I felt. Like, come on now. All right. You know what time it is now?
It's time to make it rain.
You act like over there like you've had a couple of rains today. I got you fired up today.
This is my third podcast today. I didn't get fired up on the first one. I did get fired up on the second one a little bit. Now I'm fired up on this one because it's just so stupid. I hate stupid. I don't know how guys like, and I know your statute of limitations is up. I won't talk about you. I won't talk about you. I don't know how. That's the part of it that I feel bad. I don't typically feel bad for college coaches and stuff, but this is the part that I always feel bad for them. You got to pretend that this doesn't piss you off. That we're having to come up with money, not to reimburse your cost, right? I get that. Hey, unofficial visit. Kids got to drive 6 hours. You got to find a place to stay. I get that. Hey, here's a little to pay for your deal, or whatever. No, they need a payment. You're 16.
One of the most exhausting, as you get older, one of the most exhausting things in recruiting is having to kiss the ass of a 16 or 17-year-old and to see the level of entitlement in the recruiting that just a really good kid. I'm talking about when you first meet him.
Yeah.
It's a very grateful kid, awesome kid. But there's 15, 16, 17 years old when you start recruiting them, right? And to see the entitlement start to seep in, and they go from being this really great kid to this asshole that you would like to throw punch.
Well, they all got these handlers around them and stuff, and that's where it goes. Those are the people that are the absolute scum. Them, and then the little recruiting junkies that hang out as like satellites around the handlers. Oh my God, no redeeming value at all as people.
Yes,
I mean, the fact that we have to share the same oxygen with them is sad. Congress should fix that.
Yeah, Grinds in the Cooper Chevrolet chat said Austin P reimbursed my mom like $300 on my official visit. Yeah, official visits you can reimburse all you want to. It's the unofficial visits.
I'm talking about unofficial visits, and I don't even mind the hey. I know you drove 8 hours and you guys had to stay at the Holiday Inn. Here's the $129. Here, I don't. That's fine. I'm talking about. Hey, I'm not
considering you.
I'm not considering you for a visit unless I get.
Yeah, that's where this is.
I'm like, that's where I would want to go. Well, then you know what? We'll just beat you on Saturday.
Yeah. All right, Neal. Do you know what time it is?
Yes.
It's time.
Time for me to stop ranting and us to start picking games.
I'm just trying to help you get out of here because I know you've been talking all day. And it's time for Make It Rain Thursday. I have decided I made a conscious effort this week. If I suck this week, I may join the hashtag Fade Siskey crowd. I made a conscious effort with my picks this week. I feel really good about my pools.
I hate when you do that.
I feel like I've let our fans down last week, let myself down. And so I have
let your family down. How's your son doing, by the way? Is he better?
Better today. He's still got symptoms, but he's had a better day today. Yesterday was rough, but had a better day today.
Good.
So Neal, you want to start this bad boy off?
Yes, please.
Neal, I'm going to start this thing off on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in the great state of South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
The team that I predicted would be in the college football playoff is making a trip to Clemson, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
If my brother-in-laws are listening right now, they are going to start sending me dirty text messages. They're not going to like my pick here. But the Florida State Seminoles are -2. The line has actually dropped a half a point. They're -2 on the road at Clemson. And Neal, do you know what? It's on the road, and it's not enough. I'm taking the Florida State Seminoles. Huge. Making a statement. Jordan Travis is practicing. He's looking good. They're going to make a statement. The end of an era starts today. The Florida State Seminoles crush Clemson on Saturday.
The end of an era.
End of an era starts today.
Wow. The end of an era. I'm with Grind. That is a fishy line. The line scares me a little. I agree with your assessment, by the way.
Scared money don't make money.
Well,
I'm riding Florida State. Give them to me -2.
Well, this was like last week. The Missouri line was fishy.
Well,
and look what happened.
Guess what? This isn't freaking the Eli Drinkowitz Star Wars chasing team. This is freaking Florida State and Mike Mother, whatever, Norvell. I didn't say it. Look at there.
I know.
I would have said it. The old me would have said that right there.
I know.
I'm growing up, mama. It didn't take but 45 years, but I made it.
All right. I'm going to start on Friday night.
Ooh.
I'm going to Southern California. Going to the team that has just been good to me over and over and over. San Diego State, the Aztecs. I picked them once with their uniforms. They did it. I picked them to lose and not cover. They did it. Guess what, Tyler? I'm picking them to lose and not cover again. Boise State -6.5 at San Diego State. I'm going with the Broncos.
Shout out to our boy Bob. He's out in Boise right now hanging out with our guys.
Oh, is he?
Ryan told me to tell you hello, by the way.
What's up, Ryan?
They're having a good time out there in Boise with the crew we were out there with.
I like Boise.
Yeah.
I like Boise a lot.
You do today. You like them a lot this weekend.
I like them a lot this
like
weekend.
More.
But I liked Boise. That bar that we went to, that was fantastic.
It was.
That was a fantastic IPA.
All right, Neal.
I'd go back to Boise. No joke. I'd rather go back when it's not so cold. But I liked Boise.
I did. I had a good time.
It was scenic. It was cool.
And the Camus.
Camus was good. You can get Camus in Oxford.
It was good.
You don't have to go to Boise to get Camus.
It was something in the water in Boise that it tasted better. I think in altitude.
Maybe so.
It tasted better.
Okay.
All right, Neal. My second pick. The Auburn Tigers. My Auburn Tigers.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ever to conquer, never to yield.
You're gonna break.
Eagle, fearless, and true. I've
desk.
had enough rain.
You're
I'm
gonna
ready.
Scare people.
The rain is flowing.
You're gonna
We're
terrify
46 minutes into this show. That should scare you.
Oh, I am scared.
Because my Auburn Tigers,
Yep.
the fighting Hugh Freezes,
Mm-hmm.
are going to the Battle of the OK Corral. It's going to be Hugh Freeze versus Ross Bjork in the great rematch.
You know, Jeffrey Vitter should go.
It should be. Should he do the coin toss?
He should do the coin toss. It should just be Hugh, Ross, and Jeffrey right there at midfield in seats. They should do it. They should have a referee come out and
with hostage video,
and they should put them at a podium, sit them down, and put like the people with the guns off to the side where they're just out of camera shot, and make them reenact the hostage video.
Wow. Well, Hugh Freeze and Auburn Tigers are taking flight. The Eagles are taking flight over to College Station.
Okay.
Texas A&M is favored by 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Neal,
yep,
it's also a date with reality with the Auburn Tigers and Hugh Freeze.
Oh, I'm so disappointed because I was getting ready to go another route.
Texas A&M is favored by 7.5, and they may win this game by 35.
Oh,
I'm taking
so disappointed right
the
now.
Texas A&M Aggies minus 7.5 to crush the hopes and dreams because they're so excited right now. All of my fellow brethren, all my fellow Auburn Tiger Barners, and I love you. I do. I love you. But it's time for Dr. Reality to hit. Freeze kind of knows it too. Reality's about to set in. Texas A&M minus 7.5. I may take the alternate line of Texas A&M minus 74.5. I'm taking the Texas A&M Aggies to destroy the hopes and dreams of the Auburn Tigers on Saturday.
I am so disappointed right now. I thought for just a moment you were going to take Auburn and the points, and I was going to get a freebie.
Oh, thank you, Grind. Going to the Cooper Chevrolet chat. He says, since I'm so cocky, the line is at 8.5 now. I'll just take 7.5. That's what it was. I'll take that. I'm not scared of a free point, Grind. I'm crazy, not stupid.
By the way, Boise's 6.5. It fell from 7, so I'm 6.5.
I got you.
Speaking of 6.5, another 6.5 point line. SMU heads across town to TCU. The Mustangs getting 6.5 points. They don't need them, but I'll take them. SMU plus 6.5 at TCU.
Gotcha. Well, I'll go ahead and save the drama. We'll skip around here.
Okay.
Neal, I didn't know if you were aware of this, but SMU is going across town.
I heard about that. To TCU.
They're leaving Highland Park.
Yes. Heading to Fort Worth. Going to slum it for a little while.
Yes, going to the slums. They are favored by 6.5 points, Neal. And guess what?
What's that?
It's too much. They don't need them. SMU is my money line pick of the week.
How about that?
I'm taking SMU plus 205
SMU
to
plus
win
205.
outright against TCU. Any team that gets beat by the frauds from Colorado deserves to lose a game. I'm taking SMU money line plus 205.
Well, you want me to go ahead and do my money line since you did your money line?
Sure.
Going to the Big 12
Oh,
Heading to the Big 12.
I know where you're going.
Heading to Lawrence, Kansas. Kansas and BYU.
Wow, you're gonna do that?
Yep. BYU's an 8.5-point dog plus 330 money line. I'm going to take a big shot on the Cougars. Keaton Slovis looks good. They got athletes. They gave up some stuff to Arkansas, and Arkansas could have beaten them without the 14 penalties and all that stuff, but they showed some grit in Fayetteville. Be easier in Lawrence. They've handled a mobile quarterback because they handled KJ pretty well. Give me the Cougars plus 330.
I like it. All right, Neal. So I've had my money line and my 2 picks. So my 3rd pick on the line. Can't believe I'm doing this. Matter of fact, on TikTok, one of my former players reached out, gave us a little message on TikTok. Chris Stone, what's up? Recruited him out of high school.
Happy Panda.
Don't say that. All right. We're not going to the Cooper Chevrolet chat for that one. But we're going up the road 2 hours to a place where I spent.
Speaking of dead men walking. Go ahead, sorry.
Wow. Where I spent 7 years of my adult life coaching.
Arkansas State.
The Arkansas State Red Wolves. Place Jonesboro very close to my heart. One of my favorite places that I've lived.
You could be their starting middle linebacker right now.
Okay, that's a possibility for one play anyway.
Yeah.
For one play. They are hosting
SMU.
Southern Miss.
I meant USM.
They're hosting the Fighting Will Halls in Southern Miss.
Yes.
Arkansas State is getting 7 points.
Yeah. That's probably not enough.
And guess what, Neal? It's not enough. SMU is about to blow the doors off
USM.
What'd I say?
You said SMU because I said it a minute ago.
It's my CTEs kicking in.
I know.
Must be hereditary. I'm taking Southern Miss. Southern Miss.
Aaron's like, see, that's why he's not playing anymore right there.
Yeah. See, she brought that up, by the way.
I don't blame her.
I've been dealing with that all week. Southern Miss -7 on the road at Arkansas State. I think this is a bloodletting.
That's a good pick. I like it. That's a good pick. All right. The portion of the day where I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Because I'm trying not to repeat your picks. Although I'm with you on Texas A&M, but God, I'll try to be more creative.
All right, wherever you go with this one, I got 2. I'm going to go with the other one. So I think I know where you're going.
All right. I'm going to head to the ACC.
Okay.
North Carolina and Pittsburgh squaring off up in the Steel City. Pitt's done a good job. He's done a good job at that program. Tar Heels look really good, though. Drake May turning it on. This won't be his last time to play in an NFL stadium. He's going to make some money soon, and I think he's going to raise his stock on Saturday. Give me UNC -7.5 at Pitt.
I love that pick. That's one of my picks. I will be betting that with my personal money. I think, and it's a quick U versus quick U game.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, but I think.
You ever been to Pittsburgh?
I have not.
I like Pittsburgh a lot. Cool town.
I have not. My man Clay is a big Pitt fan, and Pittsburgh fan in just general, but never been. But I like UNC. I like that pick.
If you ever get a chance to go to PNC Park, see the Pirates, the park is just gorgeous. Beautiful.
I've heard.
Beautiful park.
All right, Neal. I got about 4 I've been thinking about this last pick, and I think I've settled on one.
Okay.
I'm going to the Big Ten.
Oh, okay.
I told you, I came out, I studied. I've come out prepared this week. Did my homework. That's why I've gone a little off the normal radar.
Okay.
The Quick U client, Indiana Hoosiers, are hosting the Akron Zips. Akron is god-awful. They can't score at all on offense, and Indiana's actually really good on defense. Really good. They got after Ohio State on offense. They got after Western Kentucky. Louisville on offense. They have a good defense. You already have a bad offense playing a great defense. They're not going to score very many points. I am taking Indiana, the Hoosiers, at home, -17 against Akron. I think that's free money. I don't think Akron scores more than 7 points.
Probably true.
I just need them to figure out how to score about 24 points, and I win this game.
All right. So I've got one left, right? Because
You got one, I got one.
Boise, SMU.
No, I went first.
I went Boise, SMU, UNC. That's right. And I've already done my money line. So I've got 2 more to go.
Yep. You got 2 regular picks left.
All right. Let's see. Okay. This is I'm struggling a little. I've got a handful that I really like.
I did too, so I just went. That's why I went Indiana one.
I was all in on LSU minus the 17.5 against Arkansas, and then
What'd you find out, Neal?
heard some stuff.
Well, flip it the other way.
Yeah, but I don't like Arkansas enough to. I'm staying away from that game.
You gonna avoid
investigation?
You know what?
I'm gonna go with no. It's not like that. Just I think.
Will the NCAA suspend us from picking picks for the next 3 weeks because of our inside information?
No, we'd be fine. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go with the team that's been good to me. You like this team? Big Ten. Back to the Big Ten.
Okay.
The Maryland Terrapins.
I do like the Maryland Terrapins.
They've been good to me.
They have been good to me too.
And I've developed a fondness for them, and so I will go Maryland minus 7.5. Maryland minus 7.5 at Michigan State.
Yeah, that's going to be that may be a bloodletting in that game.
Michigan State, man, that's a bad atmosphere there right now. A lot of unhappy people. Maryland, on the other hand, pretty focused.
Who do you like? How many points do you think they score?
Oh, I think Maryland could easily get into the mid to upper 30s. I don't know why. Where are you going? Oh, God. Isn't it crazy that the Joker – hey, Joker, you're wearing the exact same sweatshirt on an 86-degree day that Tyler Siskey was.
Because you keep it so damn cold in here, Neal. I was over hanging out with Mr. Freeze. And I'm not talking about the Mr. Freeze going to College Station.
Oh, a different Mr. Freeze.
Even though he also has a date reality.
Got a date with reality.
That actually may be true. But, Neal, do you know who else has a date with reality this week?
Deion Sanders?
The Colorado Buffaloes and all of the fans with Colorado have a date with reality. The Colorado Buffaloes are getting 21 points.
Since they're going to cut this and put it on TikTok, I'm just going to make it easier for them to do it.
Neal, it's nowhere even close to enough. Oregon is going to try to score 147 points against Colorado. 147 points. And Colorado is not going to be able to do anything because they're going to have no one left to throw it to. They're going to get sacked 47 times. And to make the week even better, where are all the internet trolls this week? It's not personal this week. Why isn't it personal this week?
I mean, because it kind of should be personal.
Yeah, it's personal. Dan Lanning called you out. Not personal this week. It's not personal. Just this is the week. It's not personal. I'm sorry. Please, Dan Lanning. Please don't run the score up on us, Dan Lanning. Please. It's not enough. Oregon minus 21. And maybe they can send somebody to cover the Colorado Buffaloes that understands the rules of college football. And look, I know that it shocked you because you haven't played a game on the road that's meaningful in a long time. But they claimed this week, the media covering Colorado wanted to point out to the world how awesome it was and how much detail that Deion Sanders did at practice because he played opposing teams' music at practice. I know it's been since the Teddy Roosevelt administration since you played a meaningful game, but you are the last team in America to actually do that. So congratulations. Welcome to college football. And just make sure you tell your coach if he ever goes into overtime again, can somebody give him the rules so he can understand the rules of overtime? But welcome to the Lost Club. I'll see you trolls. I guess I won't see the trolls again until they play Stanford. When do they play Stanford? Because I guess the trolls are going to go away until they play Stanford.
I don't have the schedule.
Okay. I'll see you guys again when you play Stanford. Bye.
That was the Joker.
What it is.
Tyler, good to have you back.
Got a little headache there. I had to walk that one off.
I bet. All right. So you / the Joker are taking Oregon minus the 21.
Yeah. It's the easiest money of the year.
I'm going to do my fifth and final pick. I'm going to stay Pac-12. This is a great game. I'm just going to have some fun with it. I'll make it even more interesting for me to watch it. It's maybe the game that I'm most interested in as a quote fan, end quote. Just a football fan. This might be the game that I'm most interested in.
Okay.
Oregon State and Washington State.
Oh, good game.
It's a Pac-2 game. Everybody's going to do the Pac-2 joke.
It is the Pac. Is it the Pac-2
The
championship game?
Pac-2 championship game. And I did it too. It's funny. Ha, ha, ha. It's also two really good programs. It's also two really good coaches. It's two places that care about football. It's two campuses that are probably reeling a little bit from all that happened with the Pac-12. They're playing for a purpose. They play different styles, but they both play really disciplined football. This is going to be a fun game.
It is.
And just for the sake of that, you know what? I'm going to take the team that I kind of catch myself cheering for a lot, Oregon State.
Shocker.
I'm going to lay the 3 in Pullman.
You do kind of low-key like Washington State, too, though.
I do like Washington State, too. So either way, I'll be kind of happy with this game. I hope this game is as good as the game I think it will be. I'll go with the Beavers. I'll lay the 3 at Pullman.
I just don't. I'm not betting this game. I'm watching it. I'm with the contrasting styles. Confused me a little bit.
The other games I thought about real quick, I thought about UCLA plus 4.5. I actually thought about that as my money line.
Is Cam Rising playing?
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I love Dante Moore.
Okay.
I thought about West Virginia plus the 6 against Texas Tech. I thought about Notre Dame plus the 3 versus Ohio State.
I like that.
That's a little bit of a risky bet. I told you I thought about LSU. And then the money lines that I thought about the UCLA money line at plus 170. I thought about the Iowa money line at plus 470, just because their defense is going to give them a chance to stay in that game. And crazy things happen in football.
I looked at the unders at 40. I looked at that in that game, but I'm either taking Iowa. I bet you could get a good money line. What you get plus 350, 400, what'd you say?
470.
470?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty good value.
And I thought about the Ole Miss money line at plus 225, but it was way down my list. So
games that I like, because going to the Cooper Chevrolet chat, OK Rebel said, Siskey, what other ones do you like? Neal saw that, started reading his. I think I'm going to take, just for a Thursday night fun time, I'm going to take my Georgia State Panthers. Brian Landis, Sean Elliott, good friend. The whole staff listens to our show every week. They're not listening today because they are currently in pregame meal, but I actually texted with Brian today, wished him luck. I think Georgia State actually wins today. They're undefeated. They're 3-0 playing
I thought
Coastal.
about that game too.
I almost took it as my money line. I'm definitely at worst taking the points. I do think they cover, but I'm actually emotional because I am biased, but I'm probably going to put a little bit on the money line for them to win straight up tonight. I'll be watching that game. A game that I can't believe I didn't bet that I really like, I think it's free money. Miami is favored by 23.5 at Temple. Temple's terrible.
Yeah.
Miami's legit really good. I feel like I don't know something there with like somebody hurt or something, so I didn't mess with that. And then the other one that I like, Liberty minus 10 at FIU. I think Liberty's really good, and Jamie Chadwell's got that offense rolling. But Mike's got the defense rolling. I got some momentum, so I'm staying away from it on here, but I'll probably bet it personally. And then the Ole Miss Alabama game. Final thoughts on this game. Tuesday was interesting for me. I got a lot of phone calls. I talked to people too. And
Post podcast.
Yeah. The message that Lane was trying to deliver, it got delivered. He succeeded in getting it, and he wanted them pissed. He wanted to poke the bear. It has been poked.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, this game is not about coaches.
It's going to be played by players.
It's going to be played by players.
Yeah.
But he did accomplish what he was set off to accomplish. They are not happy. The players are. It did. It got a little extra motivation over there, so they accomplished that part. Now, can he go do it? After thinking about this and having a couple phone calls, and then I believe somebody on your board said this, and I 100% agree with this, and it didn't hit me until somebody said this. And I think they're 100% right. I think the reason Lane is pulling out every stop he can pull out. I'm talking about he's going nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's did some things that were kind of personal and probably against, I guess, coach code would probably be the way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
From a disrespectful personal level,
I think it's because it's his last time he's going.
I think Lane thinks this is the last time that he's going to get to coach against Nick Saban.
And it probably is.
And it probably is. So he is pulling out all stops. They're not on the schedule next year. And now you're 2 years away. And who knows? I mean, Lane may not be at Ole Miss and Nick may not be at Alabama. So 2 years is an eternity in coaching.
I would bet on the lack of backlash to Glenn Guilbeau's story that what he intimated in that story comes to fruition.
I did not see the story.
He quoted a friend very close to Saban as saying that he thought maybe this year, but probably next year.
Well, I mean, he's 71.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming, whether it's
But
this year, next year.
the point is that he said, look, Saban has privately, and I think this is human, right? The guy he's not a machine. He's ready to go enjoy the fruits of his labor. He's made a ton of money.
He has that.
And he's made a ton of money in football. He's made a ton of money off football. He just built the $17.5 million home in Jupiter, I think, on Lake Jupiter down in Florida.
It's down there with Justin Thomas and
Tiger Woods.
It's the golf deal.
He can go play golf with those guys.
He plays golf with Justin Thomas a lot.
So I think
I was not in his group.
Right. And then look, he's 30, 40 minutes from the West Palm Beach airport. I think it's pretty obvious.
He ain't going to the West Palm Beach airport.
Well, private.
He's
right.
going,
But you understand
he's
my
looking
point.
for the closest FBO.
You understand my point.
Yeah, I do.
My point is that he can do TV pretty easily.
Yes.
From there, he can get places, and I think him doing the weekly spot with McAfee.
Yeah,
this is not me talking. This is people around him saying he's laying some groundwork.
Yeah, he's really good. Like I've said this, whenever this is the Tyler Siskey personal opinion. This is not sourced. So before anybody starts quoting me saying, "Oh, Siskey talked to Nick," no, this is my personal opinion. I've always said that when it comes time for him to shut it down, when he decides to do that, he's going to do one of two things. He's either going to be the college football commissioner if they create a spot like that, or he's going to replace Lee Corso on game day.
Yeah, that
was where because he's good at it.
Yeah,
and he's entertaining, and I'm actually excited for it that he's doing Pat McAfee. And I've said this: we got to get him on the show before he retires. By the way, I got to get down there. We got to get doing an in-person one probably in the spring. But he's just his true personality is so different than what people see on camera, and he's able to. You're starting to see flashes of it, but I love the guy, man. I think it's exciting. But back to the game, which we're at real quick. I'm not touching this one. It's at I think I saw it at 6.5. If I did anything, I would probably take the under at 55.5. I do not think a lot of points are going to be scored in this game. This game is going to be won and lost up front on both sides of the ball. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Like most games.
Like most games. So that's where this game's going to be won and lost. Alabama's not very good up front. They got issues on the offensive line. Ole Miss has got issues on the offensive line. Defensive line wise, Alabama hasn't shown the ability to be dominant yet up front. They got to do that. They got pushed around a little bit at Texas, so they're being challenged on that. And then the same thing with Ole Miss. You got to take advantage. 15's is it Harris?
Ivy.
15's Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? What number?
Harris is 0.
All right. 15's a really good player. He's got to show up.
Yeah, he's got to have a.
He's got to have a game.
Got to have a big day.
He got to have a game.
Got to have a disciplined day too.
Yeah.
Got to.
15's a good player.
Milroe can hurt you with his feet.
Yeah, well, he ain't gonna have the whole spy thing.
That's not gonna happen.
Everybody talks about the easy thing with the spy thing, right? The problem with the spy thing is you're taking a guy out of coverage to do it,
right? And
you're taking pressure off the quarterback. So,
all right, let's get to the NFL real
baby.
Quick. You want to start?
I'll start it off.
All right, go ahead.
Neal, I'm starting out on Thursday night. I'm starting out tonight.
This
is going to be a crazy week for me. I'm going against since I was 0 for 5 last week in the NFL and I sucked. I'm saying, you know what? I'm bucking the trend. I'm going to buck some trends this week. I did some studying. The Giants are going out to San Francisco minus Saquon Barkley. Had him on my fantasy team, kills me.
Yeah.
No Saquon. Going out to San Francisco, short week on the road, cross country. San Francisco's favored by 10.5, and Neal, it is not enough.
Oh.
It is not enough. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to do exactly to the Giants what the Cowboys did. I'm taking San Fran all over the Giants.
Okay. I actually like that pick. I like that a lot. Oh, boy, I'm struggling with one. So I'm going to skip number 1 here because I'm going to go to – I might change number 1.
Okay.
I'm going to go NFC game. Detroit heads to Atlanta. Detroit giving 3 on the road in Atlanta. Detroit didn't.
No, it's in Detroit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, feel even better about it. Oh, hell yeah. Detroit's at home. I put versus. I just misread it. Detroit -3 at home versus the Falcons. To me, this is free. Detroit's going to be a little pissed off after last week. They have a little time to fix it. They had some injuries to their running game that they had to adjust to. They've had some time to do it now. Give me the Lions -3, and we'll roll with a second week.
That was one of in my pool. I took it out because I thought I had some better ones. All right, Neal. The Tennessee Titans are going on the road to play the Cleveland Browns. The Nick Chubless Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
I think this is a low-scoring game. I don't like Cleveland. I know they won the first week. I don't like Cleveland. I think they beat a down Cincinnati team. I think they're getting too much love from that win at Cincinnati. The Titans are getting 3.5 points. So I'm taking the Tennessee Titans to cover. I mean, they beat them by a field goal at worst, still covers. I'm taking Tennessee Titans plus 3.5 on the road to Cleveland Browns. They may even win that one outright.
All right. I'm going to go AFC East. Got Patriots and the Jets in New Jersey for this one. I just don't like what I see out of New England. And the Jets were okay. They've had getting a little more time to figure it out. Such a good defensive team. I think they'll hold New England to a pretty low number and find a way over it. I'll take the Jets, and I'm getting 2.5.
What's the over-under in that game? You have it?
36.5.
It's low.
It's low. So I'll take the 2.5 and the Jets against New England.
Like it. All right, Neal. In a very big game versus two teams that have not won a game yet.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these two teams is going to 0-3. The Los Angeles Chargers, the 0-2 Los Angeles Chargers, are going on the road to face the 0-2 Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I looked at this game pretty hard.
This is a get-right game for both teams. This is a must-win game.
Get right for somebody.
Yeah,
must-win
game. Somebody's getting wrong. Somebody maybe get fired. A lot of pressure on both sides right here. I think the Vikings have lost to two really bad teams.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. They played well against the Eagles, but they got dominated in the game. But they lost to Tampa Bay. The Chargers, on the other hand, have played two pretty good teams. I am taking the Los Angeles Chargers +1 against the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
I think they're a better football team.
I'm headed to Lambeau Field next. The New Orleans Saints are headed to Lambeau, and the Saints are 2-0. They're undefeated. They better enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to last. Give me the Packers -1.5. Green Bay -1.5 against the Saints.
Wow. I can't believe you did that. I actually had the other side on my pool. I like the Saints in this game.
Okay.
And I never liked the Saints. All right, Neal. Continue with my trend bucking. The Dallas Cowboys are -12 against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I know. Big number.
The Cowboys have completely mutilated two teams to start the season. And Neal, you know what?
Yep.
They're going to do it again.
Oh.
Give me the Dallas Cowboys. Josh Dobbs will be seeing ghosts by halftime. He'll be saying, oh my gosh.
It's 12.5 now, by the way.
It's Parsons. Get 12.5. Cool. Okay, cool. Hook 'em. Give me the Dallas Cowboys -12.5 on the road against the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay. I'm headed to Vegas Sunday night.
Oh, no, you're not.
Yep.
Are you betting with your heart or your head here?
Sometimes it's one and the same. I mean, I'm 2-8 in the NFL. It's hard for me to go, oh, yeah, I'm betting with my head.
Well, I'm not much better.
Pittsburgh heads to Vegas as a 2.5-point dog. They're going to win straight up, Pittsburgh is. Pittsburgh beats the Raiders in Vegas, getting 2.5.
Oh, so you did not bet with your heart. I thought you were going to go Vegas there.
I do like Vegas. I like Vegas a lot.
All right, Neal. Staying with the trend.
Okay.
There's a team out of Cincinnati that's having a team out of Chicago that's having all kinds of difficulties. You got literally the worst quarterback in the history of the National Football League blaming the coaches for his shitty performance. It's not the coach's fault when you can't read uncovered defenders and the uncovered receivers in the end zone. It's not the coach's fault. It's also not the coach's fault when you short hop 5-yard speed outs. It's not there. It's not their fault. Also, I didn't know if you saw this, but the defensive coordinator, Alan Williams, resigned yesterday because his house was raided by the FBI.
I heard about that.
There's only 3 reasons why they raid your house. There's 3 reasons why the FBI raid your house.
J6.
What's that?
January 6th.
Yeah, 4 reasons. 4 reasons why they raid your house. 1 is drugs. 2 is you're a terrorist. Or 3, you got some bad images on your computer.
Yeah.
Those are one of the 3 reasons. No bueno.
Dwight says this is a fake story.
That's not what I heard.
Okay. He did resign, though.
He resigned. That's not a fake story.
Okay.
He's not there. Call it what you want to call it. But they're going on the road to Arrowhead, and they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs will beat them by 74 points in an NFL game. We'll set a record for how bad they beat somebody in an NFL game. Chris Jones is going to take Justin Fields and break him in half and say, blame your coaches for that. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs minus 12.5.
All right. I went to the Cooper Chevrolet chat for advice on my final pick, and I have made a change. Ooh. I was thinking about Washington plus 6.5 versus Buffalo. I do think the Commanders are better than advertised in the preseason.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins at home, laying 6.5 against the Denver Broncos.
So if it doesn't cover, who we got to blame? Kendrick?
We got
Kendrick in the Cooper Chevrolet chat?
We got Grind,
Kendrick, Joey,
Jason. There's a lot of people to blame. So I don't want a bunch of crap.
You took the Patriots.
You
don't know what you're talking about.
You picked the Dolphins. No, you did it. You did it.
Love it. I did like the Saints plus 2. I'm finished my picks. I like the Saints plus 2, and dude, I'm concerned about our guys, the Rams. Cincy. I like the Rams plus 3 Monday night, and Cincinnati. That was my other one I left out, but I like those guys. Concerned. You concerned?
Yes, I am concerned about our Bengals.
They are wearing them fresh ass unis this weekend, though.
They are. Any uniform that looks that good shouldn't lose.
They shouldn't. Those shouldn't are fresh. Lose. That's probably why they're bringing them out.
They're fantastic.
Those are fresh.
They are good looking.
Ice on ice.
It's good looking. It's a good looking suit. It is that.
That's all I got, boss.
We will wrap it there here on a Thursday. That does it for our week. McCready and Siskey. We're always brought to you by our friends at Rain. Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams, natural caffeines, BCAAs, electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
And I want to take a big thank you to everybody in the Cooper Chevrolet chat today and remind you guys that during September, you get 3.9% financing for 72 months on the new Chevy Silverado crew cabs and no payments for 90 days. Go to cooperchevrolet.com and make sure, and it doesn't have to be just those crew cabs. They do the best job trying to find whatever vehicle you want. Anytime you want to buy a vehicle, get in touch with the guys at Cooper Chevrolet. They will bring it to you. They will take care of you 100%. Very good people at Cooper Chevrolet.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the games. Be safe if you're traveling, that kind of thing. And we will look forward to talking to you Monday. Oh, a little programming note. Tyler didn't even know this yet. Probably going to start an hour later than usual on Monday. I've got an obligation with my day job.
Oh, okay. So we'll go 3 o'clock?
So we'll probably go 3 o'clock.
Sounds good. So I can do it.
Letting everybody know that. So a little later on Monday.
3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday.
Central Daylight Time. It's not Central Standard Time until...
Are you serious?
I'm positive.
I'm in today years old when I learned that.
Today is Central Daylight Time. And when the time change comes, when we fall back,
no shit,
it will become Central Standard Time.
I'm serious. I'm 45 years old, and I had no idea that changed.
That is true.
I can't be the only one that doesn't know that.
You're probably not. I see a lot of people mess it up. And a lot of people will just go CT because they're like, I can't figure out the S and the D. That's the it's technically right now it is 3:19 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Look at there. I learned something today.
I'm here to educate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend, everybody.